Hello everybody, Demon Red Mist here, doing a guide for DGT League's VW Supersport next race, which is at the Red Bull Ring. Now, to be honest, there's not a lot for me to tell people about this place, because if you've seen my other videos about the Red Bull Ring, it's pretty much exactly the same. Car positioning, exactly the same. The only difference is the braking points, right? Because, as I've already mentioned a few times, in this car, the brakes are not its strong point, okay? So I want to make this perfectly clear now, right? That, for example, turn 1's braking point is 105 meters. Turn 2's braking point is about 110 meters, okay? It's 110 meters. Turn 3 is 105 meters, 110 meters. All three of those are before the 100 meter marker board, and I want to make that clear to everybody, because annoyingly you can brake at about 100 meters for turn 1, and about 100 meters for turn 2, and about 100 meters for turn 3. But on lap 4 you can't brake there anymore, you're going to run deep into the corner. So there is absolutely 0 point in braking at 100 meters. Brake at the points I tell you: 110 for turn, 105 for turn 1, 110 for turn 2, 105 for turn 3. You'll make the corner every single time and not kill your tyres, and you'll go through the corner faster for a longer amount of laps. A little later on in the lap, turn 4. The braking point is just before the 100 meter marker board, I believe. I will confirm that, but again, it's a corner. Don't brake late on it, because if you do, the car will slide, kill your tyres. Done. The left hander after that, turn 5 I'm going to call it, the braking point is before the end of the curb. If you brake after the end of the curb, you're going to get a little bit of tyre wear extra, but you're going to be slow as hell through the corner. It is crucial to brake before the end of the curb. Into the final sector, the braking point, I need to check which brake marker board it is, but again, do not brake late. Do not brake beyond the point I tell you. If you do, you may go in there quick, you're going to come out slow, you're going to kill your tyres, and after 3 laps you're not going to be able to even get round the corner and stay on the track. And the final corner, interestingly, the car's going to tempt you to use 3rd gear for it, but you don't need to. It's a 4th gear corner. Okay, so let's go. Now, I will apologise for not live streaming this. Unfortunately, YouTube for some reason is not working on the PlayStation, and to be honest, it's taken me an hour just to get GT to load up. For some reason it was freezing on the home screen. Okay, so I know I may have sounded a little bit sort of arsey mentioning about the braking points there, but I just want to make it perfectly clear. If you're turn 1, 2 and 3, if you're braking at or after the 100 meter marker board, you're doing it wrong. Even if you feel you can get around the corner, you get around it slow and you're killing your tyres. Also, I'm a little bit angry that it's taken me an hour to get onto GT. Okay, so braking point is before the 50 meter marker board for turn 4. And this left-hander, normally I'd say brake after the end of, like, braking the service road. No. In this car, brake before the end of the curb, so that your car is already slowing down, so you're off the brakes when you turn in, because your aim every single lap is to get your car over here. If your car's not in this position, you're going to run wide on this next corner, and you don't want to do that, because if you're heading out here, you're going to be off the throttle, or you're going to be in the gravel. Okay, right. Let's check the brake marker board for the final corner. 200, 150. Yeah, okay, so I'm pretty sure it's at the 100 meter marker board, but I'll confirm that on the way round. And as I said, the final corner, it's going to tempt you to go to third, but it's a fourth gear corner. Okay, let's go. So heading up to turn 1, third gear corner, I think, if I remember rightly. 200 metre marker board, 150 metre marker board, 105 metres, and we're on the limit. Okay. Now for turn 2, hard on the brakes and keep them on. 110. Now I'm not doing this particularly well at the moment, but it just goes to show that even the braking point I'm mentioning, if I'm not getting it spot on or I'm not concentrating, it's too late. Before the 100, 105-ish. We've gone down to second gear, third gear corner really. But we'll get to that. Just need to relax and warm up a bit. Lift off at the 100, brake before the 50, let the car slow down. You might need third gear. Let the car get around the corner. Brake before the end of the curb so you can be off the brakes and on that curb. And if you get it wrong, you'll run wide. So even though I've touched the apex curb there, that's why it's crucial to get the entry right. I ran wide because I turned in too soon. See, comfortably a fourth gear corner, and I will show in a minute why it's fourth gear and not third. Okay, let's try and get this a little bit better, shall we? There we go. So braking at about 105 metres for turn 1. In 6th gear, and it is on the limit for making the corner in third. Brake at 110. Like I say, it's hard on the brakes all the way to the point of actually turning in. Second gear for turn 2. Okay, about 105 metres here. Third gear corner. Patient until you're round and then you can boot it. Okay, lift off at the 100, brake before the 50. And patience. You do not want to push it on the way in there. Brake before the end of the curb, down the gear, don't turn in too soon. And now we're flat out. Brake at the 100. Down to 4th gear. Means you'll make it every time. Pop to 5th on the brakes, down to 4th. Comfortable 4th gear corner. Can actually push it a little more through there. Okay, so let's go again. 105 metres. Good line. Flat out on the throttle. So 105 metres every lap. Every single lap. Okay, 110 metres, but we're going to have to brake hard. And I'm not getting on the throttle until I know I can get round the corner. If you're running wide on the exits, either because you're braking too late, coming off the brakes too soon, or getting on the throttle too soon. 105 metres, third gear. Hopefully by the yellow line that goes across the track there, you'll be able to go flat out. Lift at the 100, brake before the 50, down the gear and patience. Can do this in 4th. Up to 5th, brake before the end of the curb, down the gear, don't turn in too soon so that you can be fully on the throttle when you do apply it. Brake before the 100 or at the 100. Pushed it a bit harder, which has allowed me, well, made me run all the way up to the curb. I'm going to do it again, 105 metres. And I am fully on the brakes there. Okay, you're going to be 110 metres. Now, I'm not hurting the tyres here. Even though it sounds like it, I'm not. 110 metres, hard on those brakes. Don't rush those downshifts. Okay, on the exit of this next corner, keep an eye out for that yellow line going across the track. My aim is to be on throttle, full throttle at that point, but it only works if you brake at the 105 metres, get it slowed down, third gear, patient, and then we can be full throttle. If you're on the throttle too soon, you will run wide. Lift at the 100, brake for the 50. Didn't brake enough, so I have to pop it down to third, but I can come back up to fourth. Brake before the end of the curb. Good turn-in point. So turn-in point, sort of end of the service road, I think it was there. But it's all down to the brake. If I brake after the end of the curve, can't do that. Brake at the 100. Gonna try it fifth gear this time. It's doable, but it feels slower to me. And okay, I've gone quicker, but I don't know what sector. Yeah, well, I went quicker in the final sector. Maybe I will stick to fifth gear then. But if you're struggling with that corner, go fourth gear every time. It makes it easier to get round. Okay, so we're going again. I mean, I'm on what, lap 6 now? And you can see I'm making this corner every time. So lap 6 at a minute and a half, so that's about 8 minutes of driving. So I'm going to go to about 10 minutes of driving. Don't be too aggressive on the downshifts either. The car doesn't like it, it pushes forward. Okay, you'll lift at the 100, brake before the 50. Get the car slowed down so that when you get on the power you don't have to come off it. Yep, turn in, just before the end of the service road. Made a bit of a mess of that one. Okay, you brake at the 100, gonna try fifth gear again. Okay, comfortably fifth. Oh, I've gone a bit deep there, so I'm gonna have to wait a little bit for getting on the power. See, that may be why I was going fourth gear. It's to do with rhythm. So I've lost 3/10 on that occasion. Brake 105. So at the moment, every lap, braking at this point, I'm making the corners, I'm not killing the tyres, my lap times aren't too bad. I've actually done two 128.039s. Brake at 110, hard on the brakes. Missed the apex a little bit, but not a problem. I can still go as aggressive as I want on the exit of the corner. Lift at the 100, brake for the 50, let the car slow down. Had to lift off the throttle because I got on the power. Touched too soon. Okay, so I'm on the 7th lap and I've been able to brake at the same points for turns 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so let's keep going a little bit. I lost a bit of time on that lap, it was a messy one. Made the apex again, flat out on the exit. I could actually push it a little more in that corner and buy that. I mean, once I've got the car slowed down and once I've turned in, I can get on the power a touch sooner. Brake 110. Easily made the apex. So I'm not having any problems whatsoever getting slowed down for the apex of the corner and being able to be full throttle as early as possible on the exit of the corner. Now if you push it too hard into that left-hander, you will run wide, and I will show that in a moment. So I've comfortably made turn 1, 2 and 3 pretty much every single lap, and all of the laps are fairly consistent and my tyres are pretty good. I've done 8 laps, so I've done what, about 1, 2, 3, I've done about 12 minutes of driving there, and my tyres are absolutely fine. Personally, I feel I could keep going for another 12 minutes. Now that might not be the fastest way, because in 12 minutes time my tyres will be a bit more worn and it'll get a little more tricky, but what I've just done there is effectively enough laps to do a 2-stop strategy at a very decent, consistent pace. And it's not by doing anything difficult, it's doing everything simple and doing it again and again and again. Okay, so as I mentioned, 105 for turn 1, 110 for turn 2 and 105 for turn 3. Get those right. If you don't, it's going to go horribly wrong for you, I'm afraid. Right, and I'm going to show why. Because annoyingly, well, it's not annoyingly, it's normal, it's realistic, right? If I was going to be going for a qualifying lap, then I would brake at 100 for turn 1, I'd brake at about 100 for turn 2, and I'd brake at about 100 for turn 3, because it'd be right on the limit of ability of the tyre. But in the race, that's not what I'm after. I'm after that limit of ability for as long as possible. So the way to do that isn't by braking as late and as hard as physically possible every single lap. Qualifying style laps do not result in decent stint lengths. Well, it depends on your tyres and the class of car and stuff like that, but you know, in this class of car on this tyre, it doesn't equate to faster lap times over a stint or a longer stint. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and basically do, sorry, my headset's caught on something that's bugging me. What I'm going to try and do is push the limits. Okay, so I'm going to try braking 100 meters for turn 1, 2 and 3. I'm also going to use third gear in this final corner a couple of times. Okay, so I'm really going to push this now, or try to. That 5 meters of difference on that occasion, I'm off the track, so there's no point doing it. I will get around the corner just to prove my point. So attacking it like this, I mean, it's against the way I tend to drive anyway, but so far I've lost a lot of time. Stayed on the track, but lost a lot of time. Stayed on the track, got around the corner, hurt the tyres. And that's what happens if you brake after the end of the curve. Okay, how far down we push it here? There's the 100. As soon as I was on the throttle in third gear, I was at the limiter, and that's why you shouldn't use third gear. If you're having to use third gear, you're going too fast and you're having to slow down too much. Okay, so that was just before the 100 for turn 1. Got round the corner. I've done it. It doesn't mean it's going to be useful over a stint. So yes, it was quicker in the sector, but at what cost? That cost is tyre life. I can actually feel the grip disappearing. So okay, I'm up, but this is hurting the tyres. So as I said, after about 3 or 4 laps, I ain't going to be able to do this. So my aim here at the moment is I'm just trying to push it as hard as I can and see how often or how many laps I can actually brake at that point for turn 1, 2 and 3. Lost a load of time in the final sector. Oh yeah, the grip's already going. Now my front left tyre, it's got more wear than the front right. Probably because I'm pushing the car too hard into some of these right-handers. Now, okay, yes, what I'm doing in that corner is hurting the tyres, but I'm doing it again and again to show that's not how you should do it. I mean, it might feel fast and it might feel exciting, but it's not nice. Well, I've lost a lot of time on that lap. So I'm getting further and further towards that exit curve, but I'm having to go down to second gear just to keep it on the road. So now I'm losing time. Okay, I was able to go quicker in the first lap or 2, but now I'm losing 7/10 in that first sector. I can feel the cars going light on me as I hit the brakes. The grip's not there in the tyres, they've been burnt up. There's another half a second, I'm running wide, so even though I braked earlier this time, now I'm running wide. So if this is how you're approaching your braking, you'd now be in a situation where your normal braking point, you can't stay on the road. Or you're losing loads of time, so you might go, oh, but I've killed my tyres, I need to pit. Okay, I'd understand that process. Now, I purposely stayed in third on that occasion to see if I could, but I'm wide, I'm off the track. I'm exceeding track limits there. I can't brake at the 100 metres and make that corner. The grip isn't there in the tyres, and I've got more tyre wear in 5 laps than I had in 8. So There's only one way to solve this issue, and that is don't drive like this. It's as simple as that, right? However, if you find yourself in a situation where your tyres are going off, what are you going to do about it? Well, I would predict that I could still brake at my points on these tyres and make the corners. So rather than going, oh, my tyres are fucked, no, brake at the right point. Still ran a little bit wide, still couldn't get on the throttle as quick as I would like, but that's because the tyres are burnt up. But I got through it quicker than I have done on the last 3 laps. So effectively what I've just done is had 3 laps losing more and more and more and more time when I could have just been driving like this from the start and overall been faster. Because even though I can make the corners, I can definitely feel a massive difference in the level of grip that I don't have here. Had to double dab the brakes then, because the front end hasn't got the grip to keep me turned in like I could on my first run. Running wide because I've burnt the tyres. Going down to 3rd because if I don't, I'm going to run wide because I burnt the tyres earlier. Look at the level of tyre wear. So even though I've done that lap, a 28.4, a 28.4, right, I sound like, sorry Lewis, but I sound like you now. Seriously, a 28.4, but that's faster than the previous 3 laps, right? And it's 1.3 seconds faster than the last lap. So by braking at the wrong point, where you can kind of get round the corner still and be quick for maybe 1 lap, and you might get away with it for 2, 3 or 4, but after that you've got no grip, so you've got no speed, so you've got no consistency. Whereas I've absolutely abused these tyres, got a hell of a lot more tyre wear than I had having completed 8 laps previously, and going back to the correct braking points, I'm able to put in a faster lap than what I'd done in the previous 3. And actually, there's only 1 lap there that's faster. So, yeah. So, something I want to try and get across to people is that I can imagine many people have watched my videos and gone, yeah, but I can brake at 100 metres there. Good. But can you do it for 10 laps? Can you do it for 20 laps? Can you do it for 20 minutes? You look at the latest DGT race where I did the 1-stop. To be honest, the 1-stop's easy around there. I mean, I even got Gary legitimately beat me and Steve F1 in a 20-minute race without pitting. I didn't pit, Steve F1 did, and neither me or Steve could get past him because of the way that he drove. Right? So if I say you brake at 105 metres and you think, well, I can brake at 100 metres and make the corner, well, good for you, because you're going to kill your tyres and everyone who brakes at the right point is going to fly past you. And the problem with it is that people might go, well, I can brake at 100 metres, so I'm going to brake at 100 metres. And therein lies an issue, where people end up going for overtakes that they think are on when they are not, because they're braking too late for the corner, which leads them to think the overtake is on, when really it isn't. Coming from too late, too aggressive, too far behind, and going into a corner in a way that is going to make you slow. Okay, I'm going to go back out on track to do a short run now. because what I would like to kind of show and say is defending or even attacking around this track. I'm actually going to start off with turn 2, and that is obviously this corner coming up is an overtaking opportunity, right? I do not doubt that in any way, shape or form. However, it is a corner that quite often can see 3 wide, maybe even 4 wide. So what I'm going to mention here is that if you're attempting to overtake and you're on this side of the track, right up to the edge of the track, back out of it. There is nowhere you can go other than straight. And for you to be able to make the corner in this position, you're going to have to brake at about 120 to 130 meters just to get the car slowed down enough so that you can keep tight to the right hand side of the track, but then you're going to be so slow through the corner that you would lose any places you'd gained anyway. And if you get your braking wrong, you're going to wipe people out. So if you find yourself in this position when attempting an overtake, back out of it. Seriously, right? If you're defending and you're in this position, now defending is slightly different, because if you're defending and you feel you have to be in this position, what you have to be aware of is where is the latest point that I can brake, make this corner safely without moving over to the left hand side of the track at any point. So basically what I mean is, what point can you brake and keep your car going in this line? I mean, not being daft, you do not want to be here. This corner is so tight, and for you to be able to take this line and end up effectively here, you're going to be so slow that you don't really want to be there. But if you're defending, I can kind of understand it. But if you're not in this position on the exit of the corner, you're hitting people off. So you've got to get your braking point right if you're defending. Okay, so what I would say is, if I was attempting an overtake up towards this corner, or even if I was defending, right, if I was defending this corner and I wanted to defend the inside of the corner, for me, no more than that is where I would probably go, right? And the reason for that is, yes, okay, there may be a car width of space there, but anyone that goes into that space to overtake is off the rocker. They shouldn't be over there, because you're not going to make the corner. Simple as that, right? And even if you do, you're going to be slow. You do not want to be over there. So I may move over a tiny bit more if I think someone's going to go for it when they shouldn't, and make it half a car's width. If they then choose to go on the grass, then more for them. But still, you'd have to get the car slowed down. So when it comes to attacking and defending around this track, especially into this corner, if 2 cars are side by side ahead of you, I fully recommend not getting involved in it. Position your car to maximise the exit of the corner for you, because if 2 cars are side by side ahead of you, they're going to be slow. Also, if you're behind a car that's behind 2 cars, bear in mind, right, yes, you may be able to get alongside the 1 car, but the 2 ahead, don't do it, please. Right, down into turn 3. Another overtaking opportunity, okay? But if you are not already alongside at the point of touching the brakes, it is not your position to take, alright? If you are sort of front bumper to rear bumper, sort of rear bumper driver on the left hand side of me, like if his rear bumper was just by the front of mine, then I may be able to play about with the brakes a little bit around the corner to battle for the position. Any kind of gap between front of my car and back of car ahead, there's no overtake on. It's as simple as that. even if you look and go, well, there's room up the inside there, if you are not already alongside at the point of pressing the brakes, you are too far back. Do not do it. And this is also where, if you brake at the 100 meter marker board, which we know is a touch too late for this corner, and you're on the inside here, you're coming in too fast, having braked too late on the dirty side of the track with a very tight corner now ahead of you, which means as you're banging on the brakes and you're trying to come down the gears and the other guy's going, holy shit, what's he doing? And you're approaching this corner and you're going, I want to turn, oh shit, I'm understeering. Now we're heading in this direction, and the guy we've just attempted to overtake has either been hit off by us or has tucked in behind us and fucked off round the corner and taken the position. So aggression is not needed. In all honesty, overtakes here, you better be alongside before the 100 meter marker board. If you're not alongside, the position, the move is not on, because being on the dirty side of the track, this corner becomes a very, very tight corner and a very difficult one, and it's very easy to run wide and hit a person. If you're side by side, don't get me wrong, go for it, but you better make sure you do not run wide. These two corners are not ideal for attempting to overtake. Again, if you're not already side by side at the braking point, you can't attack. The last two corners, people do find themselves attacking and defending here, I understand that, and if you are side by side or alongside another car here, crack on. But if you are not already alongside before the braking point or by the braking point, don't go for it. It's as simple as that. The move is not on. Right, and one of the reasons that I'm going to show that the move is not on, and it's similar for the final corner. You may come around the corner and think, oh, I can chuck it up the inside. It's not on. You've got to be side by side already. And it's the same for turn one. And the reason for it is, if I go and drive on the dirty side of the track and brake at the same point, 105, yes, I can make the corner, but now I'm slow. Right, so this is at my braking points, bear in mind. So we're going to take that really, really tight line where you should not be attacking and really shouldn't have to defend. I don't think I can actually stay on the right side of the track. I can't. So, I mean, that was braking about 120 and I couldn't do anything other than have the car run into the middle of the road. Okay, if I'm going to go for it up here. Oh shit. Okay, that's very dirty there, and there was nothing I could do. If I'd have turned, I'd have just slid and I'd have still ended up where I was. Like I said, here, only do it if you're already side by side, because to make this corner on the inside, you will have to go so slow that if there are any cars behind you, they're dicking you on this bit. If you're up the inside here, you will need fourth gear and you've got to leave space on the exit. And this corner becomes a lot tighter in trying to leave space. Okay, I'm now going to pretend to go for that late braking manoeuvre. At the 100 metres, yes, I've made the corner, but it's shit fucking slow. I've hurt the tyres, and chances are I've hit the other person because I've made the move too late. Right, I braked at about 135 metres there and just about got around the corner. So braking at 135 metres, I can get round the corner, but other people on the left of me would not have been braking. For another 20 metres. So I wouldn't have gained anything by attacking up the inside. Just look at the difference in time, in lap time. 1.1 seconds in sector 1, 1.2 seconds in sector 2. Running wide. Okay, now if you do happen to find yourself up alongside already before the braking point, then yes, you can go for it. But if you brake at 105 metres for turn 1, you can still just about get around the corner at a decent speed. But do not brake after that. Okay, I just want to show what happens if I brake at 100, 105 metres here. I was on the right hand side of the track on the approach to the corner, and I had zero choice but to end up with my car on the left hand side of the track here. Now you might think no problem with that, but if you're that tight up to the right hand side, braking that late, you're attempting to overtake people, they are going to be on the left hand side of you, and being in this position, I've just punted them off the track. Okay, I've probably been doing this for a long time and I really should stop. I wanted these to be really quick, but I do want to try and show how to get around a full lap if you are attacking or you're off the racing line. Legitimate, in a fair position to go for it. So if you are alongside before the braking point, okay? So I do have to kind of pretend that there is a car there that I'm going to attempt to overtake. Tyres are hurt. Yeah, even though I've not got a lot of wear on them, the tyres are hurt. Okay, so as I showed on the previous lap, 105 metres. I can make the corner in second gear comfortably without running wide, without hitting the other guy, giving space. I'm slow through the corner, but if I was alongside before the braking point, I have the option to go for this. Tight line, and have to be very, very patient on the exit of the corner. Okay, I braked at about 115 metres for that. The further to the right, the earlier you brake. 105, well, about 110. Down the extra gear because the corner is tighter, leave the space on the exit. Okay, if I'm attacking a car or a car's made a mistake and I'm on the left, down to third gear. You're not making this corner in fourth on approach. Brake at the same point, down to third gear to make sure it stays tucked in, and so I don't run wide and hit the car that would be on the right of me. Approach to the final corner, 100 metres. Down to fourth gear, guaranteed, and wait to get on the throttle. Down to third gear because we've made the corner tighter and we can get around the track. So you can get around the track sensibly and consistently off the racing line if you're in legitimate positions to attack, but it is going to be slow, okay? But this is where driver etiquette comes into it, because if, let's say for example, if every driver attacked and defended in this way, anyone that you're attacking knows what you're going to do with your car. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to be able to stop you doing what you want to do with your car, but it means that they then are aware of where they're going to have to put their car. And when it comes to defending, you know that the other person is not going to, even if they do look up the inside, they're not going to run wide like that and hit you off. because it is considerably slower, as I showed on the last guide video, to attack. Now, I'm doing this lap off the racing line, but braking at decent points, trying to minimise my time loss while leaving space for a car that would be next to me. So whereas on the previous laps I've been losing multiple seconds, okay, on that one I've still lost 3 seconds, but it's not been as bad. But you can't do it again and again. Turn 1 there, I may have braked a touch late, but I ran deep in the corner. So taking those tighter lines, being harder on the brakes, having to steer that much more to get around a corner, it does hurt the tyres, which means if you're trying to do it every lap after lap, it's harder and harder to do. Anyway. Right. Hopefully this video has been of some help to people. So remember, turn 1, brake at 105 meters, not beyond. Turn 2, 110 meters, not beyond. Turn 3, 105 meters, not beyond. Turn 4, lift at the 100, brake before the 50, get it down into 4th gear and be patient. Turn 5, brake before the end of the curb and be off the brakes when you turn in, down to 4th gear. Patient on the way in to make sure you do not run wide on the right hand part of the corner. The final 2 corners, brake at the 100, 5th gear, hug the inside curb and do not run wide on the exit of the corner. Brake early for the final corner, down to 4th, be patient, get it tucked into the apex, and away you go. Sounds simple? No, you just got to do it. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Now, just taking a picture.